Hello and welcome to my channel Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire on the west coast of Scotland. Today is Thursday the 19th of December and this is just a little Advent project update. I don't have as much to show you as I was hoping to, and it's actually been 2 weeks since I last recorded, but I'll show you the progress I've made anyway, okay? So what we'll do is we'll start with the knitting projects, okay? And progress on my little hot water bottle cover. This is a tiny little project and I still haven't finished it. It's Christmas. There's other things that have been distracting me. And I'm actually onto the wee ribbed, the wee bit for the top, but just to cover the wee top piece of the hot water bottle. It's just a ½ litre hot water bottle, so it just needs a tiny wee cover, and I'm just using up the leftovers from my father-in-law's socks. All I have to do is some 2x2 rib. It's really easy to do, and I don't know why it's not finished yet. Just being distracted with other things, to be honest. And that's going to be a recurring theme in all of my projects today. Maybe I was biting off a wee bit more than I could chew by saying that I would do 5 socks this month, but we'll see. Project number 2, socks. And as you can see, they're still in the DPN cozy, so they're not finished. Right, I've popped them onto a sock blocker so you can see them better. And this is the progress on my bonny socks cuff down. I'm now working on the gusset decreases, and I just have to finish those decreases and do the foot and the toe again. So close, yet so far away. I'll get it done. I'll get it done. I will. Right, so that's the progress on this one. It's 2.25mm needles, and I am using Elm Tree yarns, and the colourway is Blackbird Nest. But I'll get that finished as soon as I can as well. I just feel like I've been a wee bit distracted over the past couple of weeks. So many other things going on just now, isn't there? And something I should have maybe taken into account when I set all my goals at the beginning of the month. And this is the Advent skein from the Cozy Knitter. This is a Canadian yarn dyer. And I have just started day 15, so I'm a wee bit behind. Can I get this onto a sock blocker actually? There we go. That's how this one is looking. I've only got about 2 or 3 more rounds to do on the gusset increases, and then I have to do the heel. And that's what's been holding me up. It's just the fact that I need to go work this heel, and I prefer to just sit and do the heel all in one go rather than getting interrupted and having to pause and go back to it. But I'm at just started day 15, so I'm not too far behind with this one. I am using my Ripple toe up sock pattern to knit this sock. This is currently with testers just now. I have a test knit running the whole month of December for the toe up version and the cuff down version. But that's how that is looking. I usually only have my socks split over 3 needles, and then I've got the 4th needle for working. But I did split that instep over 2 needles just to make it easier to pop them onto sock blockers to show you. Last but not least, the final sock. I've made a wee bit more progress on this one. This one is from Freckled Whimsy, and this is their Advent skein. I'm going to pop this onto a sock blocker right away, okay? And look at that. Isn't that stunning? Oh, I really do like that. It's so bright, isn't it? Merry and bright, that's what the yarn colourway is. And it's their Advent skein for 2024. And I'm on day 16, I think, for this one. So I've just actually by the heel turn and back onto the leg. Back onto the coloured yarn to work the leg. So this sock here is a variation on my chevron sock pattern. That was a cuff down pattern and it was one size only. It was a medium size. But in the new year, I would like to change that, and I would like to add more sizes to that pattern and do a toe-up version as well. So that's the pattern that I'm using for this one. And both this sock here And the Ripple sock, I'm using 2.25mm needles, and it's the Knit Pro Zings that I'm using for both of those. I really like both of these wee DPN cozies. I made them a couple of years ago, and it was remnants from Dashwood Studio fabric. It was the very first Christmas fabric that Dashwood Studios made, and I do love this fabric. And I just had wee bits, and I thought perfect for DPN cozies, and I really like looking them out every year. I just think they're so cheery. So that's all the knitting that I have to share with you today. It's not much, I know. I just really don't know where the last 2 weeks have went. Since I last spoke to you 2 weeks ago, I feel like I've not really had that much crafting time. What did I do in the last? Oh, I did my 5k. I did it. I actually made it. It was so good. The morning of that final session, week 6, the final session, the 5k, I couldn't go to my regular group because it was my 5-year-old grandson. He's in primary 1 just now. And it was his Christmas show, and he asked me to come along to his Christmas show. So it was the same morning as that final run. So I couldn't go with my regular group, but I'd messaged the gym and asked could I go along with the evening session, because there were 2 sessions running. There was a morning and an evening. I'm in the morning group. But anyway, I went along for the evening group. They said I could come along, that was fine. But I was quite worried about it because they run in the dark. And I'd never been out in the dark before. I knew it would be colder as well. The morning session we go to, it's like a wee circuit, it's a wee running circuit, and we just run laps round the circuit. But the evening group can't use the wee circuit because it's not got any street lights. So they go a route round about the town. And I was a wee bit worried about that because I felt like you were more out in public doing your run. And there was just all these reasons that I was worried about it. You know what I'm like. If you've been here before, you know what I'm like. So there was all these reasons like, oh, you shouldn't be doing it at night. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. That negative side just got a wee bit of a telling off, and I told her, just you be quiet. We're going. I might not be able to do it, but we are going. And you know what? It was really good. I really enjoyed that circuit round about the town. It just felt different. It was just, I don't know, rather than doing laps, because I think we'd worked out how many laps we had to do to get to 5k, and I think that in itself was a wee bit worrying. But just doing the circuit round the town and landmarks that, you know, it was just quite nice to say, right, if I can make it to that bit there, then we'll reassess how I'm doing, right? Just make it to the next lamppost or the next bridge or the next roundabout or whatever. So it was really, really good, and I did manage to complete it. So I think early next year, I'm going to see if I can get a wee pair of earphones, see the ones that fit inside your ear, just so I can keep up my running. I'm not going to say I'm going to do a 5k every week, but I'm going to keep up with it because I have really enjoyed it. And I feel like the buzz that you get, the endorphins must be flowing afterwards, and it's really, really good. Anyway, well, we get back to the crafting projects now that I've sidetracked. Let's move on to the crochet section, okay? And I've got some crochet to show you. I've kept up with my wee Toft dollies. We have 2 wee dollies. Look at those. I'm still thinking Hansel and Gretel. I'm getting Hansel and Gretel vibes, but maybe not. Maybe it's not that. This is how they're looking so far. This is the little girl. This is the little boy, and they are not creepy at all. My 5-year-old grandson, he's been staying over on a Friday evening, and he doesn't like dolls. I've got a couple of porcelain dolls, and he doesn't like them. He says they're creepy. And it's when he saw these, he's like, oh my goodness, I love your little dollies. And they're not creepy at all. When I did the bodies for the dolls, I've used a 3mm hook. But when it came to doing the clothes, I've used a 3.5mm hook. It was just to make sure that the clothes fit. I usually do that with my Toft dolls. So if you do look at mine and you think, oh, her clothes look a bit bigger than mine, that's probably why, if you're doing this project as well. So the little girl also has a cloak. This is the wee cloak here. I'm going to have to block mine because the ends are curling. If I hold it for this end, the upside down, both ends are curling in. So I'm going to have to give it a wee block. And again, it's because I've used that bigger hook, my hood looks quite big. On the final round, I did some decreasing just to bring it in a wee bit. so it's tight around her head, but it is still quite big. But it's supposed to be a cloak with a big hood, I think. Not, well, this is the way I'm picturing it. A cloak with a nice big baggy hood rather than a wee snug hood. And she's still to get her hair on as well. So I think once her hair goes on, she'll be fine. Now the other pieces that she's got in her wee box are, I think this is an apron, because we've got this wee piece here and it's got a wee pocket on the front and it's in her box, so I'm guessing it's for her, and I guess it'll just tie on round here. She'll have a wee apron on as well. Kerry did tell us to leave the ends on this one. She's been telling us to leave a lot of ends in, but this bit she said leave the ends on. There, that's from there. So to help with the sewing in, securing it later on. And then we've got the little boy. He has a little hat. My hat is quite big on his head, and again that last round I did some decreasing just because I used the bigger hook. But I think by the time we get his hair on, his wee hat will sit a wee bit better. If not, I'll redo them. I'll do them in the smaller hook. But he's got his wee pom-pom at the back as well. Isn't he cute? And then there's also a wee basket. He's got a little basket. Now we did have a choice what colour to do this basket. We could either do it in cocoa, which is the colour of his trousers, or we could do it in this straw colourway. And I've opted for the straw because I think my dollies are going to have dark hair. Although I don't think I'm going to use this cocoa. I might use a paler shade of brown. There's chestnut and I think there's fudge as well. So I might use a paler brown, just so it doesn't blend in with all their dark clothing. The wee basket's actually really, really cute. There's wee holes here. Might be difficult if I poke my fingernail out, you might see it. There's wee holes, and I don't know if we're going to thread something through there at a later date, just to make a wee bit of embellishment on the basket. But this is the only Advent project that I have kept up with. I am all up to date. It is the 19th today, and I've done the piece for the 19th. The only thing I have to do is put the wire in. We can put wire through their limbs to pose them, and I left that till later on today because I wanted to show you them in the video and I didn't want wire poking out and jagging me, and you know. So I'll do that wire later on today. And the only other bits that we have for the actual doll characters is shoes, but I haven't brought those through. We haven't been told to put their shoes on yet. But when I made the girl doll shoes, I made them on a 3mm hook, and I made his on a 3.5. I think his look better. So I think I'm going to redo hers just to make sure that they do fit her. I don't want her wee feet being squashed inside her shoes, so I might do them again on a bigger hook. And the only other pieces we've got, I think the last time I made a video, I showed you, we had two bits like this, and I still had them attached to my straw yarn. Well, one of them we have added to, and we've got this piece here. I have absolutely no idea what this is going to be. And this is what's throwing me off, and I'm thinking, is it Hansel and Gretel? Because what is this piece? We've also got this little bit here, and I am wondering, could that turn into a toadstool if I hold it that way? Because if you look at one of the other Toft, cat hair, if you look at one of the other Toft toadstools, it's definitely kind of got a cap shape, and maybe this bit here is what that is. And maybe we're going to make a stalk, but I don't know how that would fit in with Hansel and Gretel, if it is a mushroom. There's two other pieces that we've made, and we've got this bit here, and it's got lovely little beads, just little pearl beads around the edge. We have two of these. They're mirror imaged. We've got all the ends still on here. Kerry told us to leave the ends on these bits too. We were also told to leave stitch markers on here. And I'm thinking, those stitch markers are about the same width as those pieces here. Where the two purple stitch markers are, it's almost a perfect fit for that. So Could it be a Christmas jellyfish? Who knows? What I am really surprised at is that I'm a member of a couple of Toft groups on Facebook and nobody really seems to have any idea what is going on here. Can you see it better like that if I hold it? And we've got two of these pieces. Two of these ones here, I should say. Yeah, it's got to be the Christmas jellyfish, hasn't it? There's a fairy tale about that, isn't there? But we have only got 5 more days of this crochet along and the theme is still not clear. So, well done, Kerry. Keeping us all in suspense. The only other thing that I can show you from the advent is some of the wee extras that we've had. We've had a wee box full of beads to put the beads on when we need to crochet them on. And then this is the key that I showed you last time. The little key. And we have got a couple of little stitch markers on here now. And these ones have got, one's got a little T on it. And one's got a little O on it. There's 2 more to come and I'm guessing they're going to be F and T. But they're little book-shaped stitch markers and they are really, really sweet. We were actually supposed to use those to mark that cap piece, but I've just used regular stitch markers and put these ones on here. We've also had a little pin badge. I'm not sure if I showed you this one 2 weeks ago or whether this is something that we've had in the calendar since then. I can't remember what day it came out. And we've also got a thimble, a little golden thimble. So when you add in things like this, it does all have a book theme. It's like the old lettering that you would get in fairy tale stories, that old-fashioned lettering for the T, and it's little book-shaped stitch markers, and then we have this as well, the little thimble, and you start to wonder how it's all going to tie in. There is only 5 more days to go, and I can't believe Kerry's kept us guessing all this time. There's only one other project that I haven't worked on yet, but I am really going to try and get done before Christmas. And it's these little Christmas elves from Toft. These are in my whip pile. And you know, all I need to do is stitch on the eyes and the nose, crochet some ears, little elf ears, and make their shoes. And they'll be done. And they've sat in a bag, waiting to be finished. And I think I started them before lockdown. I have really, really enjoyed getting up every morning and just coming into my room and sitting at my computer desk and just working on my crochet and getting each piece done every day. So I think I'm going to try and get these done. There is not much to do in these and they will be finished. This wee red one here was actually made the year that Toft released their red cardinal as an advent calendar. I had a wee bit of red left over and I was able to make a wee elf. That shows how long ago it was. I did have the wee green elf, but I didn't have enough to do the red stripy tights for this one. So this one just got pink and white stripes instead. But I think it's about time they get finished as well, isn't it? The only other thing in this bag is a little reindeer with a little red gemstone nose. His wee antlers are all bashed. But this again is another Toft make. So I'll bring him out and he can patiently wait for his little elf friends. Now that is all I have to share with you today. I did get a suggestion in my comments about sharing previous advent makes with you. I think a lot of my advent makes are still whips, but I will look them out and I'll try and make that video before the end of this year, okay? Anyway, thank you for watching and I will see you all again soon. Bye!